everybody, we're back with some more yoga for bone health and strength and stability. And so here we are. We're going to begin today in mountain pose, standing position. We're going to do a standing series. The last was all down on the mat, and I believe our final segment will be down on the mat as well, the next series. So mountain pose, you can put your feet together so they rub up against one another, and just plant and sink into the yoga mat with all, people say all four corners of the feet, but just imagining the entire surface of the foot from the pinky toe to the big toe, all along the middle and to the heel, and just feel that sinking into the mat. And once you have your feet firmly placed, and this is really more of a mindful practice, so it's slower and it's more of a noticing and a sinking into the body. So if you plant your feet firmly and zip up your legs, imagine a zipper from your feet all the way up. Automatically raise the knees, lift the thighs, lift the glutes, and it goes all the way up. You can feel your pelvis. And then the rib cage and the diaphragm lift from there, creating space between the spine. Again, shoulders rotate down and away from the ears. And you can choose to stand with your hands facing forward, your hands to the side, or you can bring them up over the head, touch as the gaze goes up toward the ceiling. Again, pulling the shoulders away from the ears while you're doing that. And just hold it for a few breaths as you feel supported by the earth, grounded. And whenever you're ready, you can take as much time as you like in mountain pose. You can then move to tree pose. So you'll be shifting your weight so you're standing on one leg, and then bring the opposite leg, the opposite foot, to the side of either part of your leg where it's most comfortable for you. So it could be under the knee. Generally, placing the pressure right on the knee can cause undue tension, and if you have knee issues, that's really not a good option. So if you can raise your leg to your inner thigh, you can do that, and it's okay to teeter-totter and use your arms. And once you get the balance right, now you can go into the arm movement. And you can choose to come up like this, as if a tree were growing out of the ground, spreading its branches up to the sky. Focusing on the breath, inhaling, exhaling. Again, I'm using my arms as a point of balance. Other ways you can do this same thing and feel supported, and if you're comfortable where you are, please just continue doing that. You can use a chair or a stool to help balance, because this is yoga for anybody, right? Everybody. So, and you can just do this to start off with. Or if you're placing your foot against your inseam of the opposite thigh, and you're feeling teeter-tottery, you can definitely hold on to something. And so what you'll do is you'll take a few nice, really deep breaths here as you imagine, like a tree, that there are roots growing out the bottom of your feet and into the earth. And you can imagine those roots going all the way down to the center, the earth center, the heart of Gaia, and wrapping around this beautiful molten center And again, I encourage you, if you'd like to do movement, slow, subtle movements, it does not have to be, you don't have to be a statue. You can inhale, lift up. Exhale, down with the arms. Or you can stay stagnant. You can press the arms in prayer position to the center of the chest. And when you do this, you're creating a different, a biotensegrity model as you're pressing here and pressing here. Now my foot just got wobbly as I was showing you, and that's okay. Whatever your tree looks like, whether your foot is up here, whether your foot is down at the bottom, you do what's comfortable for you. But just imagining the roots growing out of the bottom of your feet and coming down to Mother Earth. And when they do, when they wrap around the molten core, imagining like liquid lava, that light, that the heart of Mother Earth, the strength, the grounding, pulling up all the way to the bottom of your foot and into your body. And if you're really brave, you can try closing your eyes while you're doing this. It's good to have a chair by if you want to do that. And whenever you're ready, you're going to come back into mountain pose. And in mountain pose, I'll give you different variations of that as well. You don't have to zip your legs up and have them together. You can have them hip width apart and do mountain pose from here. But again, we're grounding our feet into the mat, pressing down into the earth, lifting our kneecaps, engaging our thighs. And what does that mean, engaging the thighs? So if you imagine that you're just slightly opening this, an external rotation to the thigh, to the inner thigh, just slightly pressing out while you lift up, being mindful of the breath, then drawing the abdomen in and up, lifting the rib cage, focusing on the breath, allowing the arms to do what they'd like. Again, you can be in anatomical position. You can place your hands over your head and tilt your neck upward, staring at the ceiling again, drawing the shoulders down and back. Or you can come with your hands to the heart center and press here and make that connection as you breathe. And if you hold this pose for longer, you might want to double check and just re-engage the feet, the calves, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks. And imagining your skeletal system in perfect alignment. The ankles over the knees, to the shins, all the way up. And to be in perfect alignment, there should be a gentle curve in your back. Taking a few more breaths in mountain pose. Then we'll go to the opposite side and do the tree. And so you can pick from any alternative, and you may find, as people often do, that one side is a lot more challenging than the other. So for me, this is my challenging side. For some reason, my foot always slips down my inner thigh. So you can readjust, you can get your chair. And so really it's an opening, an external rotation of the hip, the leg coming out to the side. So you lift up, out to the side, and you can place your foot exactly where you'd like it to be. And again, shift and adjust. So for me, I do have difficulty on that side just because my foot slides. So I'm going to go with the lower one on this one. Again, firmly planting the standing foot into the ground and allowing, feeling into where the balance is. It's usually a little teetering to find balance. And then to hold the position for more than a breath, or when we're in a yoga flow, we're inhaling, exhaling, we're inhaling our arms up, exhaling forward bend, inhale, exhale. But for this particular practice, we are focusing, it's more of a myofascial approach where we're holding a pose and we're holding that, and it's okay if you slip up like that, just get back to it, and it takes practice. So instead of doing a more fluid flow, yoga flow, we're holding positions that build strength in the body, incorporating breath work, checking in with that standing leg, making sure that there's the external rotation of the opposite leg is happening. And every time you drop your foot, you just pick it back up again and start over again. And then with the arms, you can make it a fluid movement, following the breath with the arms if you'd like. Inhale up as the rib cage lifts, always making sure the neck is lifted, the shoulders are dropped, pulling away from the ears. I cue that a lot because I'm listening myself to the cue as well. So spending a few moments here in tree pose, experimenting with the arms, or just holding it in one position. And you can hold it as long as you like. If this is too long, that's okay. Move on to the next one, or just return to a mountain pose where you're engaged. From here, what we'll be doing is moving from mountain, back to mountain, to warrior two. So what we'll do is we'll step one leg back, and the side of the foot is parallel with the short side of the yoga mat, out like this. Then we'll take the opposite leg and straighten like a triangle with the legs. And you can experiment with how far away is comfortable, how far apart your legs are, what is comfortable for you. And if you're very familiar with yoga, warrior two, then you can just go into that position and hold. And if you're not, you can just take your time and do a slight bend, making sure that the knee is over the foot, not to one side or the other side. The hip is externally rotated, while this is a straight line from the floor all the way up. So the hips are facing forward. One leg, the back leg is straight, the front leg is externally rotated. And then we raise the arms and twist the torso slightly, twist the neck. And after you've adjusted your leg so that the knee feels like it's supported and strengthened, and it's supported by the foot, and it's also supported by that external rotation, but more so the alignment. And then we'll take the arms and bring them up to shoulder height, both fingers pointing at opposite directions. Taking a nice deep breath and sinking down into warrior two. If you feel any pain, anything going on in your knee, I ask you to come out of it and just sink in until you find a spot where you're not experiencing pain. This is not about pain. This is about strength and stability. So Warrior Two, you cast your gaze over your fingertips, straight out the wall, allowing the shoulders to rotate back and down away from the ears, pulling in the abdominals, twisting slightly. Warrior Two, these warrior poses are for strength, stability. So imagine your bones supporting you in this position. And again, feeling grounded in the earth, feeling strong and healthy. And breathe. Inhale, allowing the rib cage to open as the diaphragm expands. Exhale. You can, again, do subtle movements where you're bending and straightening the forward knee. And if you can hold this position for 2 or 3 minutes, that's a great place to start. Now from Warrior Two, we'll come down and we're going to do a side angle. So we're going to straighten that front leg, triangle pose, and bring, oh, I just heard a good pop. Bring your hand down to the mat and your opposite hand up in the air. So you make a straight line with the hand and you are a triangle. Now, that is one way to do triangle pose. You can also be supported at the knee. So I have the back of my forearm pressed against my inner thigh above the knee. I'm not directly on the knee. And so my hand is not reaching the floor, my bottom hand right now, where it was initially. And so I had a slight bend in my knee also for this one, because I'm pressing against here. You can straighten, you can experiment, and you have to find what feels the best in your body. And once you're there, you can just hold it and take a few deep breaths. And again, you can always use yoga blocks. I have one right here to support you. So if your hand, I have ridiculously long arms, and that's great if you're a 5'2" person. So I can reach the floor, but this, it takes so much of the pressure off. So if you want to feel strong and supported, so whatever that practice looks like for you, whether it's with a block, you can use a chair for this one as well and lean your hand to support on the chair. And just noticing the alignment. And then from here, we're going to bend. We'll come back up, bend the front leg, and again, you can relax on it, like put your weight on it like that. What we're going to do is side angle pose. So you can be supported, again, making sure that the knee is over the foot and in alignment with it. And you can see a line that goes from the tip of my fingers all the way down the body to the feet. And now my foot is still in the same position as Warrior Two. I'm just definitely pressing against the outer edge of the foot against the mat. And so here, you can extend the neck. You can also go to the yoga mat, to the block, or all the way down to the yoga mat for this one as well. But for me, this one is most comfortable. And so imagining this whole side body opening up the rib cage, allowing all your organs on that side of the body to have some breathing space between the ribs. And just breathe. And you'll notice that if you do this for longer than just cycling through a series of poses, and again, if you get tired, you can straighten that leg and bend it again. It's much more challenging to hold the pose for an extended period of time. And whenever you're ready, you're going to circle back. And instead, so that front foot was now open and pointing toward the front of the mat. So I'm going to bring it in now so it is parallel with the other foot. And we're going to take a few deep breaths here and just feeling, you want to create a solid base so you're feeling grounded and balanced. And from here, if you'd like, you can do a forward bend. And it doesn't matter, you have to get in a position that's comfortable for you. Here's another thing that you can use the chair for. And you can place your hands on the chair when you're just starting out for a forward bend. Or you can use a yoga block on the floor. Or the flat way with the yoga block, or you can just go to the floor with either fists or wrists, palms of your hand. And just taking a nice deep breath, inhale, exhale fully. Now for me, I feel like I can have a little bit wider stance. And again, I'm making sure my feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. I'm engaging the entire leg, front and back. And you can do like a superhero pose. And I'm bending forward to wherever is comfortable for me. If you have any back pain or back issues, I suggest you start with a chair or a stool and just do that every day, holding it for several breaths. Now, if you want to get really crazy, you can bring your hands back farther. And again, you don't want to push to the point of pain. And even to the point of before pain, you don't want to, what you do want to do is ease off a little, back off. You come to that end range where you're like, okay, I'm really pushing it right here. And people think if I just keep pushing, that's a good thing and I'll stretch. But actually, it may seem a little counterintuitive, but when you back off a little and you are able to hold that position longer without any pain, without any injury, the benefits are going to be far greater. And so you're holding this position here, and I like to hang my head down and just let go of all the tension in your neck, your shoulders. Just allow it to hang loose, and you can shake your head back and forth or side to side, or roll your neck. Just turn this into a really relaxing practice. But you're also, on each and every one of these poses, you are building strength. And whenever you're ready, depending on how you are situated with your hands on it, you can simply push up. And then we'll go into Warrior Two on the opposite side. So then we're going to be facing this direction. So the back, now you can walk your feet in, or however you get your feet in is fine. And then you're going to reposition the back foot so that it's parallel with the short side of the mat. And then we're going to be externally rotating and pointing this foot straight ahead. Got funky things going on with my lights. I don't know why. Must be clouds outside. And then again, we're going to adjust for comfortability. The hips are actually facing the long side of the mat, but then we're externally rotating and having these toes facing the opposite wall. And I always suggest you want to make sure you're in a good position, so play with that a little. You've got this firm foundation. The whole of your entire back foot is pressed into the mat. Your front foot forward, hips face this way. And whenever you're ready, take a nice deep breath. Inhale with the arms up, turning the head to the side and looking over the fingertips. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Feeling the strength of this position. Being connected to the ground. Focusing on your breath. And whenever things get a little difficult in yoga, really focusing on your inhale, filling the lungs, allowing the diaphragm to fully expand and contract. Those shoulders just feel so good to pull them away from your ears and down. And then the strength of your arms going out in either direction. And you can think to yourself or say to yourself, I am unstoppable. I am strong. I am vibrant. I am healthy. Whenever you're ready, that back leg, arm dip down a bit, and that's okay. We're going to then change to triangle pose. So I am allowing my feet to be parallel and coming back to this position for a moment. Just feeling again the strength all the way from the floor, up the calves, the thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes, engaging them all. And engaging might be a slight external rotation to get those muscles where you're pushing out, but you're also pushing in. So it's a dynamic kind of force. And then you may need to bring your legs a little bit closer together, and you have to position this where you're going to be comfortable. And then with a deep inhale, we're going to lower down to this side. And do triangle pose on the opposite side. I have my hand right on the top of my ankle right now. That's what I'm holding on this side. But again, you can use the stool, the yoga block, and just breathing here while you're doing triangle pose. And now you're opening up to all the side where we have a lot going on in our bodies. We have our liver, our gallbladder. And then when you're ready, you go from triangle, come back up, rotate, externally rotate the left leg or whatever side you're on right now. So the toes are pointing forward. You can either come down on your elbow and make that line all the way from your opposite foot, all the way through, and feel the energy coming up from the earth and going through your whole entire body. From the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. Again, you can have something to support you here if you feel the need to. And you're taking your arm and you're creating a line from the back of your feet all the way toward the ceiling in the opposite direction. The chair is a distraction for me, so I'm going to get that out of here. And just continue to breathe. Imagine the space you're creating throughout your entire body, but just allowing your internal organs to have space and room and breath as you breathe into every position. And whenever you're ready, come back up. The foot internally rotates so that your feet are now parallel. And just stand in this position. I know I've done this one before. I always think of it like Wonder Woman or superhero pose, where you're just in your power. And there are studies, if you follow Tony Robbins and all these people who do corporate motivation, they'll tell you this is, you stand there with your hands on your hips, arms akimbo, pulling your shoulders down and back and your chest out, feeling your feet grounded into the mat, engaging your feet, your calves, your knees. And how do you engage your knees? You just imagine them lifting up a little, and they'll lift up. And then when they lift up, you can feel it on your inner thigh. You can be aware of your glutes, allowing for that gentle curve in the lower lumbar spine. And in this position, it's really great because generally it's a natural thing to pull the shoulders away from the ears. And as you stand here with your chest out, allowing your neck to gently turn, maybe from side to side. And you can do head rolls in either direction. You can go back and forth. I don't know about anybody else, but I hear a lot of cracking things going on. And just standing in your power. Feel the power of this position. You're unmesswithable in this position. Just taking a few moments to breathe and to see yourself as strong. Imagine looking in front of you and seeing an X-ray machine. And you take your body in this position, and as if your body were standing behind the X-ray machine. And you can see the outline of your entire skeletal system before you in this position, feeling the strength of your bones. Your muscles, your fascia, your entire body feels strong, competent, radiant, vibrant, healthy. And as in your mind's eye you're imagining this X-ray of your body, see each of your bones then glowing with this luminous, bright white light, the divine healing light of the universe, as it radiates throughout your entire skeletal system. See your bones right before your eyes becoming brighter and whiter for strength and stability. You can stay here for as long as you like. Continue breathing. I challenge you to do this pose every day for 3 to 5 minutes and see how you feel at the end of a week. I'd love to hear it. It's very empowering. If you want to get really excited, you can be a superstar and do this pose. And what you're doing is extending your arms, reaching toward the ceiling, spreading your fingers like a starfish, pulling your shoulder blades in and back, which automatically, when you do that, when you pull your shoulder blades in and back, you're automatically expanding and opening your entire rib cage. I am strong. I am resilient. I am beautiful. I am healthy, happy, and free. Whatever meditation that you like to do, whatever empowering words that you choose, write your own dialogue, write your own script. And I can already feel my arms starting to fatigue, and it hasn't even been that long. So again, we're not pushing past. If we need to take a break, then go ahead and rotate your arms. You can do big arm circles, then do them in the opposite direction. You can crisscross. Opposite hands over and under. And every time I do, I have my arms perfectly straight, my fingers out in front of me, pulling my shoulder blades together in the back. You can hold it here for a few breaths if you'd like. Crisscross. So you can make it a fluid practice, you can make it a stationary practice, but either way, it's a very powerful practice. And I will be doing another one where we'll be back on the floor. So whenever you're ready here, then you can slowly begin to walk your feet in together, or just however that looks for you. I don't like doing the heel toe thing to get my feet in. I just kind of do a little larger steps than that. And as you come back to mountain pose, again, your choice of mountain pose. You can even do a wider mountain pose. And then your next inhale, we're going to do this a few times. Just take a nice deep breath. Inhale, neck back, hands together. Exhale down. 2 more times. You can bend the knee as you're coming up. Inhale, palms together. Exhale. Slight bend in the knee. Inhale, hands together. Exhale. And again, you can do that with legs together or legs apart. And on your next inhale, again, arms up, head up. Exhale and bring your palms to your chest. And just feel the edge of your thumbs right next to your breastbone, right on your sternum. And as you do, so when I did that, my shoulders automatically began to rotate inward. So I'm going to correct that and draw my shoulders down and back, pressing into my hands, pressing into my feet. Shins, calves, knees engaged. Doing the little externally rotate slightly and then feeling the pressure coming in as well. Getting that beautiful tilt in the lower lumbar spine, where the sacrum meets. Taking nice deep breaths as you inhale fully, expand the diaphragm,